Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I've got another Commander brew for you. This one is an homage to the Memphis Grizzlies, one of my favorite followers on Twitter. That's right, I'm big time now. The Memphis Grizzlies follow me on Twitter. I have proof. So this deck is an homage and honor to one of my favorite followers, and I follow them back. The John Morant and company on the Grizzlies. I'm certainly rooting for you guys in your play-in game against the Golden State tomorrow, so go get them, guys. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game to watch. Interesting to see some of the smaller market teams make an impact in playoffs. I'm certainly there for it. So this deck is an homage to our Bears, to the Big Bears. I can think of no better of an organization to make a deck around thematically. I enjoy their posts on X. They're a ton of fun to watch the games, and just overall great content. Very wholesome team to follow. So for the Commander, representing the team, representing our Memphis Bears, I've got Ayula, Queen Among Bears. Pretty well-known commander. It's a glorified grizzly bear. 2 mana, 2/2. Doesn't get any better than that. What do we got? 2/1/1 counter as a target bear. Target bear you control fights target creature you don't control. So whenever a bear enters, you choose one of these. And as this deck is going to show, it is non-stock bearification. It is Bear Force 1. Your opponents won't be able to bear it. They will barely be able to get past the deluge of big beariness. I'm running out of bear puns. Put your best bear puns in the comments. So, the deck. Let's just go ahead and lead right off. This is our Planeswalker, Garuk. He represents the head coach of the Grizzlies, I suppose. Not the one who got fired, the current interim one. So, you got this guy here, Garuk. He's going to be leading your guys. He's going to be helping them out. He's going to untap your lands and give us a beast. He's going to pump up your creatures. I do wish he created bears, but you can't be too picky. So as far as the deck itself, it's pretty straightforward. It was pretty easy to make. It all comes together. This deck firmly fits into bracket 1. I don't care what your naysayers say. The bracket system is garbage. Shouldn't exist. They shouldn't have done it. It makes no sense. Because, pre-con decks, like the pre-con commander decks you buy, they're called, any pre-con is considered bracket 1. So by that logic, the Atraxa pre-con and the Edgar Markov precons are bracket 1, so figure that one out. Anyway, the deck itself. So one interesting card I thought of was I want some like modular creatures that do other things and boost. So this ETBs choose a creature type. It's a chosen type, and there's other types. It's basically a coat of arms for all your dudes. Other creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1. So this deck has a very low mana cost on pretty much everything. You don't need a ton of mana to do your stuff and really bear down and bear into things. So just really, you got a lot of the basics here. You got Ashcoat Bear, Sneaky Bear, Fast Bear, Flash this bear in. Bolduvian Bears, look at those teeth. I wouldn't want to mess with him. You got Bear Cub. Isn't this cute? This guy here is great. Beast Whisperer. Again, not a bear, but he can certainly help you. When we cast a creature spell, draw a card. He's going to bring more fans of the game down in Memphis. We've got Chameleon Colossus. This is one of my favorite cards here. I should have made this the laser eyes. Wait a minute. Hold on. That is awesome. Look at this. That's perfect. So Chameleon Colossus, Changeling. So it's a bear. Pro black. So it's got a little bit of, it got some protection built in. It gets +XX until end of turn, where X is its power. So only 4 mana. You're gonna be able to get this out. With Adaptive Automaton, it's gonna be a 5/5. So for 4 mana, it can become a 10/10. Really crush into things pretty quickly. One of my favorite cards here is Changeling Titan. I'm big into the Changelings. When I thought of a deck around this tribe, Changelings were one of the first groupings of cards I thought of. This is a really underappreciated, underused card in my opinion. All of the champion cards from the Whirlwind block. So when an ETB, sack it unless you remove another creature you control from the game. When it leaves the play, that card returns to play. This is going to let you re-trigger some of your ETB effects from various things, which is going to feed into other cards in the deck. So it's going to re-trigger your Beast Whisperer. It's going to, if you do Elvish Visionary, you're going to get this back draw cards. You're going to gain some life as it's Warden. With Masked Vandal, when it enters, exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment. So you can use your Changeling Titan, gun down your opponent's artifacts and enchantments, get rid of their soul earnings, their mana rocks. Again, gain life. I put Prosperous Innkeepers in here. When it enters, create a treasure token. Another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. So you're doing stuff there. Other ones here, you got your Striped Bears, this ETBs. You're going to draw a card. Couple more in here. What else we got? Gala Greeters. Again, not a bear. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield your control, choose one that has been chosen this turn. It's going to get bigger. It's going to create treasure. You're going to gain life. The treasure is going to get you very far, very fast. Another great card here is Metallic Mimic. Choose a creature type. It's the chosen type. When each other creature control the chosen type enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. So all your dudes are going to get bigger. This is only 2 mana. It's going to do a lot for you right off the bat. You got your Owl Bear here. This is certainly a sight to see. It's got Trample. It's a 4/4, 5 mana. ETB, draw a card. You're going to have no problem getting this out. This one here I thought was a great ad. It's a lot of mana, but it's extremely powerful. Trample, Hexproof. You'd be surprised how far Hexproof can get you. Phyrexian, Bear, Rhino. So, a lot happening here, but it's a bear. If you got your Automaton and your Mimic out, it's going to enter as a 10/10. Another great one here. You got Dragon Scarred Bear. You're going to have a creature with power 8 or greater, I promise. You'll be able to regenerate, get that recursion. You got Drover Grizzly. Attacks while it's saddled. Creatures you control gain trample a ton of turn. So give all your bears trample and just bear down on your opponent and get right into them. Now, as far as, this wouldn't be a bear deck without just basic bear cards. A lot of our basic bears, again, Balduvian Bear, Bear Cub. There is River Bear. It's got Island Walk, which is going to be helpful. There is going to be a blue player in your pod, I promise. That's not an issue. Woodland Changeling. It's a bear. No more to say there. Runeclaw Bear. Another bear. And you got Ruxa, Patient Professor, ETB, or attacks. Return target creature with no abilities from your graveyard to your hand. So you're going to be able to get back a lot of your vanilla little bears back to your hand. Creatures you control with no abilities, and they're going to get bigger. You're also going to make any creature tokens bigger because they're going to have no abilities. And creatures you control with no abilities assign combat damage as though they weren't blocked. So you're going to get in with a lot of these guys, and they're going to deal their damage anyway. This one here, besides being really cute and interesting, Airbow Club, attacks a player. Whenever Owlbear Cub, mouthful, attacks a player controls 8 or more lands, look at the top 8 cards of your library, creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So in a commander game, you're going to be able to get away with this because everyone is going to have their mana base pretty set up at this point in the game. That is 3 mana. So you're gonna get some stuff. You want to hit stuff like your Copper Host Crusher and really get in there and just crush your opponent. Another great card to get around and get into the blue players. Get your Pale Bears. So your opponent has to deal with a 4/4, potentially a 4/4 or bigger creature coming right at them with Island Walk. They're going to be right into there with their dual lands and things like that. Forest Bear, again, legendary art. I'm so glad this got reprinted. Golden Bear. This one here. What else we got? Razor Claw Bear attacks and is blocked. It gets +2 to it on a turn. So it gets bigger. If it gets trampled, look out. Spectral Bears attacks. Defending player controls no black cards. Does not untap. Kind of a downside, but it's a bear. Had to do it. Werebear. I certainly like this one. 7 more cards in your graveyard. He's going to get bigger. And he acts as a mana rock. Vivian's Grizzly. Got to have a Grizzly. Got more Grizzlies. Here, look at the top card of your library. If a creature or planeswalker card, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you don't, put that card in your hand. This lets you get through your deck. Green does not have a lot of card draw and a lot of upside. And this time I was actually being a little genuine here and keeping this in the bracket 1. So this is certainly a way to do that. Get into your deck a little bit more. You got Serac and Goreclaw. Other creatures you control have Trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/1 counter it. So all your stuff's going to get bigger. It's going to have haste, and it's going to have trample. So your opponents are going to be in for a bear of a time on this one. And of course, get the classic Grizzly Bears. I chose the 8th edition, 7th edition art because that's kind of when I really got into Magic when I was a young lad. You got the actual Goreclaw, Terror of Kalkasama. Creatures you control with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. So a lot of your bigger boys are going to be a lot cheaper. He attacks. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater gains +1/1 against trample to end of turn. So if you get your Automaton out, your Mimic out, all of these dudes are going to get a lot bigger and gain trample to end of turn. You have more than one way of giving your guys trample. As far as other Changeling, Shapeshifter here, your Realm Walker, this is going to let you get through your deck a lot quicker. Again, you're really limited with that in green. You don't want to have too many tutors or it falls out of bracket 1. As far as other cards in the deck, really, I try to keep it thematic and think of nature-related cards. So a lot of stuff going on here. You had to include Grizzly Fate, right? These are your backup players, your bench players. This is what you need to beat the Warriors tomorrow night. You're going to create some bear tokens. Your Roost Shot is going to power them up. If you have Threshold, this is going to get bigger. And you can flash it back and do it again. Shamanic Revelation. Draw a card for each creature you control. Ferocious. You gain 4 life for each creature you control, power of 4 or greater. So you're going to gain a ton of life real quick. Farseek. This is exactly what you need to get your lands into play. Scouting Trek. This is an old but forgotten great card. Search your library for any number of basic land cards. Reveal them, set them aside, and shuffle. Shuffle your library, put them in on top in any order. So get your basic lands out of the way. Put them right on top, and you know exactly what you're going to need. So you got Restock. This is one of my favorite cards. Let me know in the comments if you know what set this originally was printed in. Little pop quiz. And it used to be a rare. So I always thought this card was great. Return cards from your graveyard to your hand. So green doesn't have a lot of that. This deck does depend on a lot of your dudes staying on the board. So this is an essential. Fade from history. You had to do it, right? This creates bear tokens. Each player controls an artifact or enchantment. Creates a 2/2 green bear. Then destroy artifacts and enchantments. So that's going to be fun. Here's a bear. All your stuff's gone. Elven Cache. One of my favorite recursion cards as well. Creature from target card. Graveyard to your hand. Primal Command. Got to have some modular up in here. Target player gains 7 life. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. Target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Search library for a creature card. Reveal it. Hand. So a lot going on here. It deals with stuff. It's a bounce spell. Non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. It gets around stuff like Indestructible. You just put it on top. You don't have to deal with it. Target player shuffles their graveyard again. Get your stuff back. Gain life. Or you can tutor yourself something. Creeping Mold. It's like a proto-modular card. It destroys any number of things. Hitting a land is also going to be very helpful. Life's Legacy. So this is a lot of fun. Additional cost to cast, sack a creature. Draw cards equal to sack creature's power. So if one of your bears is got something going on, got to be put down, well, bear with me. You can draw cards equal to its power. A lot of your bears, as you can see here, are going to get pretty big. You can get yourself quite a bit of cards. Another Lorwyn card. I just had to do it. Again, very woodsy, very thematic. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Clash with an opponent. If you win, untap all forests you control. So each clashing player reveals the top card of his or her library, then puts that card on the top or bottom. A player wins if the card is higher converted mana cost. Now, depending on what you're up against, if you're actually in a bracket 1 pod, I don't know if you're going to win a lot of these, because a lot of your stuff is pretty low cost. If your opponent hits a land, you're going to be okay. A lot of your stuff is pretty small. Even some of your spells here, you really want to hope you hit one of your 4 mana CMC spells or higher, or one of your more expensive creatures up here. But you can get away with this. Untapping all your forests, certainly great. So you get one of your dudes back, untap all your forests, you could potentially cast it. Commune with nature, again, thematic, very on point. Look at the top 5, reveal creature, put it into your hand, rest of the body or library in any order. Harmonize, draw cards. I love the art of this, big fat toad. And okay, this is where I get a little mean and nasty. So this is what's going to happen tomorrow night against Golden State. The Grizzlies are going to they're going to triumph over Golden State, triumph over those San Franciscans in their perpetually horribly run state. Creatures you control get +1/1 gain trample and infect. So all your dudes are going to get pretty big from everything I mentioned before. They're going to get bigger from Serac. They're going to get bigger from your automatons and your artifact changelings. And you're going to be able to run right through your opponent. So you want to aim for this. With all your dudes you're going to have at the table, you can steal some wins. You can send your horde at everyone else against you in your pod and win pretty easily. These are small dudes, but that damage is going to stack up with poison counters. So good luck getting through it. As far as instants, there's only one in the deck. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. Non-human creatures get +3/3 till end of turn. So everything in your deck, except your changelings, are not going to be affected by this. They're not going to get this buff because they're technically also human, because they're all creature types at all times. Creatures you control get +3/3 till end of turn. So ideally, you want to cast this and your Triumph of the Hordes. That's what 9 mana. So it's quite a bit of mana, but you should be able to do it. You're on a pretty low curve with all your creatures. As far as artifacts, it gets better. Your stuff does get bigger. You've got your constants, your needs, your must-haves. Got your soul rings, extra mana. So this gets really nasty with Coat of Arms. Each creature gets +1/1 for each other creature that shares the creature type with it. Now your opponents are going to get this buff too, but you should be all right. You'll be able to keep running your opponents over. Swift Foot Boots. Give some of your guys you want to keep around protection. Whisper Silk Cloak. Can't be blocked and has Shroud. Put this on something like your Bear Rhino up above and just sneak into your opponent and poke them real hard. Door of Destinies. It's a better, more targeted coat of arms. Put a ETB. Choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, counter on the door. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/1 for each charge counter on it. So you're going to be doing pretty well on this. Then you got your Heraldic Banner. When it enters, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/1. So it's a mana rock, and it's making your dudes bigger. Lightning Grease, again, more, it's a Lightning Grease. Oops. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. I'm pretty tired. I'm a parent, chasing a kid around all day. It wears on you. So, equip 0, low cost. Again, Patchwork Banner. This card's a lot of fun. Shout out to Bloomborough. It's a great set. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/1. Add 1 mana of any color. So, you got a lot of banners. Your dudes are going to get pretty big. You're going to be able to get into your opponents, no problem. As far as enchantments, Bearscape. You have to do it, right? Move 2 cards in your graveyard from the game. Your Ruxa is going to power these tokens up. Keen Sense. Whenever a creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So put your Whisper Silk Cloak on your dude. Put your Keen Sense on a creature. Put your Whisper Silk Cloak on it. And then just get into your opponents and keep drawing yourself some cards. Air Umbra. You know, when Totem Armor wasn't offensive and nobody was bothered by it. And shout out to Watsy. And just to let you know, nobody was offended about Totem Armor or bothered about this mechanic from almost 15 years ago. And a creature gets +2/2, and as if this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. That's just nasty. That's just mean. So you're going to be doing a lot with this. You got Morganda Petroglyphs. Creatures with no ability get +2/2. So your Garruk tokens and all your little creature tokens you're going to be creating along the way are going to get a nice buff from this. So again, between your coat of arms, your banners, your artifact changeling dudes, your dudes are going to get pretty big. Fertile Ground. I'm just thinking of different ways to boost your mana base. So if you put one of these on your forest, you can tap your forest to cast one of your Grizzly Bears easily. Just a tap of 1 land. Utopia Sprawl, choose a color. Whenever enchanted forest is tapped for mana, add 1 mana of the chosen color. So pretty good. You got your Gaia's Anthem. Creatures you control +1/1. Another buff. Wild Growth. We all know what this does by now. Additional mana. We all need those resources. Glorious Sunrise. Being of combat of your turn. So this is going to stay on the table as an enchantment. Get your dudes bigger. 1/1 and trample. Another way to get that trample. Target land you control gains to add 3. So your lands are going to... 1 land's going to get you a lot further. Draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. You most definitely will. Or you gain 3 life. So a lot happening here. Greater good. So you got a lot of creatures in this deck that are going to be picked off pretty easily. They get targeted to hit it with the greater good. Sack it, draw cards equal to sack creature's power, then discard 3 cards. Anything you discard is going to feed your threshold mechanics. It's going to feed into your werebear. Werebear? Werebear. Where are you at, werebear? It's going to feed your werebear. It's going to feed your Grizzly Fate. And it's going to feed your... What was the other one? I don't know the threshold guy here. Oh, and your Bearscape. Gives you fodder for Bearscape. And again, your tokens are going to be buffed by our Patient Professor here. They're going to get the +1/1. Creatures no ability. Assign their combat damage though they weren't blocked. So they're going to get on through anyway. As far as the lands in the deck, 30 forests and 1 3-tree city. Say that 3 times fast. Or 5 times fast. However fast you want, however many times. So this is a great card. I got to get one of these. Choose a color. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures you control of the chosen type. So you're going to be getting yourself a lot of mana. A lot of your creatures are very cheap. You're going to be able to get in your opponents real quick, real fast. You're going to run it all up, and they're going to pick and roll. You're going to duck on them. You're going to rebound on them. You're going to smack them around like the Grizzlies are tomorrow against Golden State. So feel free to take a look at this deck. Let me know what you think. I was surprised to see that none of my decks have any comments or likes or any kind of feedback on Moxfield. So the link to this deck is going to be in the description. Let me know your thoughts on this brew. Do you run something like this? Have you run a bear deck? It should be pretty easy, pretty cheap. It's only $264. I'm sure you can cut it down. You could probably even just take out your 3-tree city, save yourself, almost $30. So right there, you're down to $230. Some of the pricier stuff can definitely come out. You probably don't need Utopia Sprawl. As far as other high price stuff, Coat of Arms, it's cool, but not great. As it buffs your opponent stuff, so that can come down. You could definitely get this deck to being $200 and under. And overall, let me know what you think. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe. I just recently made YouTube partner. I do have channel memberships that are live. I currently only have one member, and I do wish I had more. I got some great things planned for my members. Some exclusive stuff that only my channel members can get. Shout out to my sole channel member, Brody Alfonso. You're my dude up there in Canada. Anyway, everyone, take it easy. Let me know what you think of this deck, and I will catch you next time. Thanks, everyone.